Hey friends, it is seed starting day, and we are going to be starting seeds that need to be planted out 6 weeks before my last frost. So it's going to be a bunch of flowers and herbs that we're doing today. I have some zinnia seeds that I saved from last year, and I may not plant these ahead of time. I may actually just wait and plant these out after our last frost. Then I've got a couple different marigolds to do. Then I have a new form of zinnia called a candy stripe that I want to try. Then I've got some oregano and some basil, some holy basil, and then also some regular Genovese basil. So we are going to be doing some flowers and herbs today, so stay tuned. So speaking of herbs, which we're going to be planting today, I just wanted to mention that I do have a freebie listed down below that you can get for my Boo Boo Balm recipe. So back in January, I made a video on my Boo Boo Balm, which I have right here, and I've used it a little bit. I'm actually going to put it on. I have a little spot that I noticed, a little scratch right there, and then I had an IV that was started yesterday. I had to go for a routine procedure, and I thought, and it kind of had bruised up and it left a little spot. So I decided I am just going to put a little bit of my Boo Boo Balm on that, and hopefully that will kind of help that bruising and the little spot to kind of heal up. And then I'm also putting some on the little scratch that I noticed. But anyway, so I have this Boo Boo Balm, and it is made, gotta set it aside so I can grab my thing. So my Boo Boo Balm is made out of lavender and plantain oil, and I have a whole little recipe that's a freebie that I have listed down below. So if you guys are interested in making your own Boo Boo Balm, it's great for like stings, burns, cuts. My brother-in-law, actually, since I made this, so I told y'all I was going to give a little update, but my brother-in-law, he had taken a bite of food and it was super hot and it actually burned like his lip. And so he put that on there and gave him relief within like 15 minutes. And then he kept asking my sister, he's like, where's that balm at? He's like, I need to put some more on there. And it really helped that to not blister up and be really bad. And it was right there, like on his mouth, his lower lip, kind of right under it. So I just wanted to mention that it isn't, obviously, any kind of herbal recipes don't take the place of, your doctor and their recommendations. But, and I'm not giving medical advice, but I just want to kind of mention it, that it can be helpful for minor cuts, stings, bruises, burns. And so I have the freebie up there, so definitely go check it out. I printed it out so you guys could see it. And that way you can learn how to make your own balm, and it is super easy. And I hope to be doing another recipe soon of like a peonies balm. That's going to be my plan, but I need to get some oils started. So anyway, so stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to mention this is free, and it is a link down in I'll put it down in the description down below. You can also find it up on my YouTube main channel page. But yeah, definitely go check this out. I'll even tag it in the comments, so I'll make it real easy for you to find. But get my Boo Boo Balm recipe and make it yourself. So I have my bucket of seed starting mix, and Zoe is joining me today. As you can tell, she had to jump up on the table. So I got my bucket of seed starting mix. I took the lid off, and I don't have much mix in here for my potting soil. So I am going to put in some more potting soil. I'm using the Coast of Maine. That's what I have right now. And I like it actually pretty good. So I think I will be buying more of this particular seed starting mix. I've tried different ones, and this one here, I just liked. It didn't have nearly as much chunks in it as some that I have gotten in a seed starting mix. Shouldn't really have chunks in it at all. And it has got a little bit of, it's enriched with compost, lobster meal, kelp meal, worm castings, and mycorrhizal. So, and it says a natural slow release nitrogen. So I like this mix. So far, I think my seedlings are doing pretty well. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If anyone is interested in looking for a seed starting mix, I did get these off of Amazon. We'll add in the last bag here. And then I'm going to take this inside, and I'm going to wet the soil down. I'm out in my sunroom, and I don't have my hoses hooked up yet outside. So I think at this point it'll be just as quick to take my tub into the kitchen, put it on the kitchen counter, and then just add in water from there. So let's go put some water on this. Okay, so we have our soil here, and I'm going to get it wet by just pulling over the water from my kitchen sink. So I'm just using the sprayer, and I'm just gonna wet it down because adding in the new soil that I did, it was all dry, and you don't want a dry seed starting mix. You want it to be somewhat moist, not like completely soaking wet, but at least somewhat moist. And so I just do this a little bit, then I kind of mix it up and check it and see where we are. And then I just kind of repeat the process till I finally get it to the right consistency. And I will show that to you once I get it all wet. So this is about the consistency that you want. It kind of clumps together. It's not like super wet, but it will kind of clump together. And that way there's not maybe a little bit of moisture that comes when I squeeze it, but you want it to be somewhat clumpable like that. And then that's pretty good on the moisture level. So I'm just filling these trays, and I'm just gonna do this real quickly, and then that way we can get to the fun part, which is starting seeds. So I know you guys are kind of at a funny angle, but I thought maybe it would be better so you could see kind of an up close version of me doing some seed planting. So I'm just kind of putting a little hole in the center of each of the little 6-cell trays. And then we will start some seeds. So I was thinking that I was going to start both of the types of zinnias. I don't think I will, because last year I just planted those ones directly out, and I think that's what I'm going to do again this year. The ones that I have. Too close to the tray. So I think the only zinnia that I'm going to plant are these candy striped, and we are going to, and I'm probably going to wish that I had more, but I think I'm just going to plant maybe a couple seed cells per pocket and see what we got here that'll come up. Put it there. Okay. And then I need to write down that is the candy striped zinnia. So let me write this down. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget. So we will do that, and then just gonna kind of go back in and pat that down. And I have some flower pots that I will end up planting out more, I know. Let's see, so I've got a couple different marigolds here. So I have the little Hero Fire, and then I just have the Petite Orange from Walmart. And so let's see here. I got oregano, 2 types of basil. So I think what I will do is we'll do both types of the marigold. So I'm gonna go ahead and go marigold and orange, and then marigold little hero fire. I end up always buying some marigolds, it seems like, from the local nursery, so I'll probably do that too. Just because by the time that I'm planting, let me go with the little hero fire. My garden, mine are never as big as I want them to be, and so I end up buying some that are already planted out. So I think I'm gonna do, I did more than 2 or 3 seeds per pocket, but that was my intention. Last year, when I had these growing out of my green stock, I tried to get the dead heads and sprinkle them down below, because I have like a little garden bed out in front of my deck, and I thought, oh, that would be nice if I could just have some marigolds come up down there. So we're gonna see if that happens. I'm not holding my breath, but perhaps some of them got down in the soil good enough that they will. I just sprinkled them. Yeah, like I said, I didn't do anything special other than just sprinkle them. Okay, so that's the little hero fire. And then we will do the orange. And I can get more than a couple plants out of this. This will be great, like each little spot. I like to have marigolds because they are kind of can be a pest deterrent, and they are so like drought resistant. So these grew great in the tops of my green stalks. And they did really, really well, and they just go like all summer long. So that's why I love planting marigolds too, because they are low maintenance, and I had them out in my garden too. So now I've got my basil and my oregano. So I am going to make tags for those, and we're going to put the herbs on the back side here. Okay, so we'll do a tag for oregano and basil and holy basil. It is so windy out. There's a chance for severe weather this afternoon, evening, overnight. So basil seeds are so tiny. So we're just gonna kind of more or less, I think I'm not gonna put them down too far in the hole. I think I'm just gonna sprinkle some on top. Okay, holy basil. And I think next is the Genovese basil, or your regular style basil. It is slightly bigger seeds, not much, but a little bit bigger than holy basil. And then some oregano. And oregano is so tiny, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try to more or less surface sow. I think I'm gonna try to just sprinkle out of this little bag. I think that will be the easiest. Okay. So I'm just going to try to just slightly cover these up a little bit, but not a whole lot, because they will get lost in the soil if I put them down too deep. They are so tiny. Okay, and now I'm just gonna spritz the soil. Okay, I just got my little water bottle here, and I'm just gonna spritz it. The soil was wet, but this will just be a little bit here for helping them germinate. I think I will give these little guys a spritz while I'm doing it. So this is kind of my flower and herb tray. Okay, friends, so there we go. We got them all planted together. So all my flowers and herbs that we have so far. Here's a little update on my calendula. And it's doing pretty well. All but a couple pockets germinated, so I probably ought to throw another couple seeds in there. And then these are the snapdragons. I kind of pulled the tray out. They're super tiny when they get going. So I think I may go actually get a couple more seeds and throw them in for the calendula while I'm out here doing stuff. And then here's an update on my onions. So yeah, I'm just trying to flip my tray back and forth because my seed starting setup, my lighting setup, I don't have long enough lights. So I bought some new lights, they're on the way, but they are from Epic Gardening, and I got a set of 4 lights. So I can actually just set up another table and set them on the table and not necessarily in here. So I think that will help me next year. But here's an update on my brassicas. I'm wondering now if they were not up too high to the light, and maybe if that was what some of it was like scalding of the leaves. I don't know. So I brought them down. So now they're a good few distance from the light. And then the peppers. So we'll just see. I'm hoping probably in the next couple weeks I'm going to get these brassicas planted out, but the cauliflower did not look well at all. Some of the broccoli look okay, some of the cabbage I think will be okay, some of the kohlrabi will. So we'll just see what happens. Brassicas so far are my nemesis. I have not figured them out by no means. And then up here is a little update on my tomatoes. So they are tiny little tomatoes. And I ended up planting some more of the sun golds, which they are down on this bottom row down here, because I was afraid that only 8 would not be enough. So I planted another tomato plant in each one. But I've got, oh, there, the other tomatillo popped up. I only had 3 the other day, but now the 4th one's germinated. So see, they still will surprise you. And then that's spearmint in there. So yeah, so that's kind of what the seedlings are doing. I'm hoping, we'll see what happens. We'll see how many onions I get. I have never grown onions. I've never started onions from seed. So this is completely an experiment, and we're just gonna see what happens. All right, friends, well, I hope you enjoyed this seed starting video. And before I go, I just wanted to say, keep tending, keep thriving, and let's grow together. I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye, friends.